Actually, this is my like more than 6-month review or like update video on my Longines Master Collection, like moongraph, triple calendar, you name it, this thing can do it. So just several people have asked, you know, what are my thoughts on the watch? Do I still like it? Do I still wear it? And I guess I want to address that in this video and go over my kind of like my final thoughts on the watch. So yeah, this watch, I still have it. I haven't sold it or anything. I still wear it pretty regularly. I wouldn't say that this is like a weekly wearer. I can go a couple of weeks without wearing it. And you know, I guess I kind of want to address my positive and negative opinions on the watch. I want to address the positive things for this watch. Number one, this is literally the best value in a watch this complicated. I've looked and I have not been able to find a more complicated, let me just zoom in a little. I have not been able to find a watch with this amount of complication for the money. It just doesn't exist. You may be able to get it with more of a, as far as a mainstream brand like Longines, it just doesn't exist. You cannot get a watch this complicated for less than what for this. This is like the floor. And as far as complications are concerned, you're not just getting a moon phase. You're not just getting a triple calendar. You're getting both, and that's pretty incredible in my opinion. You're also getting obviously you got the pointer date, and you got a triple calendar, moon phase. There's a 24-hour clock as well, which is great for setting the time. If you don't keep this watch on a winder, which I do most of the time, but right now it's just been in my watch box because I feel like this is something I kind of like want to look at. So in my watch box, I kind of open it up and I admire my collection occasionally, and I like seeing it in there, even though it is nice to have it on the winder because it's always ready to go. But obviously you got small seconds as well here as well. So that's the main positive. As far as value, it can't be beat. There's really nothing. There are 3 different variations of this watch that Longines makes. There's one with the white dial that has Arabic numerals, and there's one with a blue dial that has like applied markers. If I had to choose one, I would say the blue marker, the blue dial variant with the markers would probably be my favorite. This is probably my second favorite, and the white dial one is my third. If all things being equal, if the blue dial one and this one were the same price, I would have probably gone with the blue one, to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of Roman numerals. It's just not my thing. I think it's a little pretentious. And I mean, hey, that's just my opinion. This is literally my only watch with the Roman numerals. I had a Seiko that had Roman numerals and I sold it because I was never wearing it. It's just not my thing. I like markers, and I like alpha, and I like Arabic numerals on my watches. So today I'm wearing my Orient Star Heritage Gothic. Again, has Arabic numerals on it. It's a beautiful watch. Just got this off my winder, so it's nice and wound. And yeah, this is what I'm wearing today. But yeah, let me zoom out again. Let's talk about the negatives about the watch. So yeah, positives, value, unbeatable. I think Baume & Mercier, if I pronounced that right, they make another variant of this watch, but it costs more. Really, there isn't anything. Christopher Ward makes a moon phase watch, which is really nice, and that's comparable in price. I think it's even more expensive than this one, but you don't get the triple calendar. And I think Longines has a little more of the Longines name has more gravitas to it. So as far as negatives, all the negatives have to do with the bracelet, and that's the watch. I think is great. I wish there was, as far as negatives and as far as the case, I wish there was a little more different finishing on the case. But again, at this price point, you really can't complain that much. The polishing is really nice, but I wish there was a little more variance in the finish. Something, a little, maybe some linear brushing or some kind of brushing on the sides or something, but that's just the way the watch is. So it's take it or leave it kind of thing. The movement is really nice. I can kind of zoom in a little. I mean, look at you got I think that's brelage kind of, you know, that swirling is brelage. I could be wrong. It's a very nice movement, and I really kind of like, you can like twirl it around like that too, which is kind of cool. It's a very, that's just the way it is. The counterweight here is that's just the way it is. So again, most of my negatives have to do with the bracelet. Number one, I guess the thing that I didn't think was a big deal, I wish was totally different, are the end links. The end links just protrude too far. They should have not, I don't know, they should have just had, if they were gonna do like female end links, just have it go into the end link a little more, not have this like protruding, like, this is like 2 or 3 millimeters, and maybe even a little more even, like, and they just really protrude. And if you have if you wear the watch a little loose, because I just don't like constrictive when my watches are constrictive. If you wear it a little loose, you have this thing digging into your you'll have the end link actually kind of digging into your wrist a little bit. It's not a big deal. I don't think it's a deal breaker or anything, but it is a little annoying sometimes. As far as, and the bracelet, for a watch that's, you know, retails for, I mean, you can get this watch for like $2 grand or so, 2,100, 2,200 or so. And even at that price range, I think the bracelet should be screw down links. It's almost unexcusable at this point. These are just normal, like pressure pin links or whatever you want to call them. It's not terrible to size. I can do it myself, and that's fine. But still, a watch that's, you know, a couple of grand, you know, and it's actually, this watch with, I think the watch's MSRP is over $3,000. It should have screw down links. Another thing, there's no micro adjustability in this bracelet. Another big negative, this watch is either too tight on my wrist or it's too loose. And I prefer it too loose, so I just keep it too loose, and that is, again, I just don't like watches that are digging into my wrist that leave like marks. I just don't like, I'd rather have it a little loose. And in this case, I can't get the perfect fit with this watch. You may have a different, it may be different for you, and you might just get the perfect fit because your wrist is slightly smaller, slightly bigger than mine. I have a 7¼ inch wrist. I'll give you a wrist shot a little later. I mean, that's pretty much it. As far as the movement is concerned, it's been great. It's super accurate. I think this is one of the more accurate watches that I have. It's really good. You know, the finishing's nice and the clasp, it works really nicely. Not the biggest fan of butterfly clasp, again, because most butterflies clasp, I think if not all of them, they just don't provide any micro adjustability. But again, this is more of a dress watch, and it's not like really a sport watch or anything. So it is what it is. You either take it or leave it. You can always like, you know, fix the problem by putting it on a strap, and then you're good to go. But I think this bracelet is quite nice. The finishing on it is good, other than the fact that it's like it's a pin system for sizing it, and the lack of micro adjustability. Other than that, it's a nice bracelet. The end links are kind of a bummer though. That is probably my biggest gripe, because it also makes the watch feel bigger than it actually is. And this is the 42mm variant. So let's do some quick measurements here. I don't know if I did it in my unboxing video. Yeah, 41.9. This is precise, right around 42. This is what it's supposed to be. Thickness now, 13.8, which is just under 14. I mean, given the complications on this watch, I think that's absolutely fine. I don't think thickness is an issue, given all the complications, of course. Let's do a quick, I think this is like a 21mm lug, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's like 21mm, so not a strapaholic, but you know, I'm sure you could find something if you really wanted to put it on a strap. Let's see what we can do here. Let's get a nice lug to lugs. Yeah, I got about 49mm lug to lug, but if you add the end links, we're talking, with the end links, we're talking about 53 millimeters about. I mean, it may be a little less depending on exactly how you measure it, but if you look there, I mean, it just makes the watch wear a little bigger than it really is. If you ignore the end links and you have it, if you have the watch centered on your wrist, then it will feel smaller. And that is a nice, that's my wrist shot on a 7¼ inch wrist, 18.4 centimeters. And as you can see, it's, you know, I got it pretty loose there. And again, I have tried taking out a link and it just feels too tight for me, but that's just my style. But there you go. If you look at it and and you just make believe that the end links are just part of the bracelet, it fits quite nicely. Again, if your wrist is any smaller than mine, I would definitely recommend going with the 40 millimeter variant. It might fit you better. But yeah, it's a really nice watch, and one that's staying in my collection for the long term. So I have the watch on the timegrapher now. As you can see, it's pretty darn accurate. We're looking at about 3 seconds per day. Very solid amplitude. Probably acceptable beater. Probably not the best, but we're looking at +2 to +4 a day here. So very cool. It'd really help the channel a lot if you could like and subscribe. If you have any questions about the watch, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll answer them as best as I can. And I'll see you in the next one.